like this.
You're willing to cut off family, friends, anybody in your own personal life whose views don't perfectly align with yours, you're the problem right now.
All right, girly pop, let's talk about it. It's not the fact that our political opinions are slightly different. It's the fact that our moral compasses are completely opposite. It's the fact that hateful messaging resonated with you. Because when I heard his campaign ads and his rally speeches and the debate, I was like, oh, that's hateful and wrong. That's demonizing minority groups and acting as though they're the problem, when I realize that they are not. They're just trying to live here and exist like everyone else. But instead, you heard his messaging and his ads and the debate, and you were like, ooh, yeah, that guy, he has my vote for sure. Like, it's the reaction to hate that differs between us. And that's why people in your life might be creating some
amazing.
distance. Because they're like, oh, ew, okay, that's, like exposing your true character. You know, it's not like we're arguing about a 15% tax rate over a 27% tax rate and like how our taxes should be allocated. No.
Yeah, that's really what it is. People are like, oh, you're hating us because of an opinion. It's like, no, it's like the problem isn't the opinion. The problem isn't that, you know, you want to spend more on the military and we want to spend more on clean energy, or you want to drill more oil and we want to build more solar panels. Those are political discussions, but we could have those discussions with anybody. The problem is Donald Trump stood up there making up lies about black immigrants eating pets in order to portray them as a danger to the country, in order to build a concentration camp in Texas so he could have a police force storm in and round people up. And you heard him say that, and that sounded awesome to you. Building concentration camps and lying about black immigrants and demonizing transgender women and wanting to punish them sounds good to you. It's not about the politics at all. It's about the fact that he sat up there and said a bunch of hateful, nasty, degrading things about a lot of different types of human beings. And a bunch of you heard that and were like, yeah, we like this guy. And it's like, whoa, that means you are somebody who really responds to degrading thoughts and philosophies about our fellow human beings. Like, you think degrading immigrants and degrading trans people and degrading anybody who's not the right kind of Christian or the right kind of woman or man, you're fine with degrading them and humiliating them and rounding them up and blaming all the world's problems on them. It's not about politics at all. It's like, wow, we discovered that a whole bunch of people who are willing to shit on humans that have a lot more struggles than you, and you're going to shit on them to extract some kind of vengeance because you think they're the problem, when they're not. The problem is Elon Musk and everybody like him. The problem is stock buybacks and corporate buying of housing. The problem is a $7.25 minimum wage. The problem is lack of health care. The problem is lack of access to higher education. I mean, we could go on and on and on. The problem is Walmart, is Amazon, is Home Depot. I mean, dude, we can go on forever on what the actual problems are, but none of them are undocumented people wanting to get a farming job and wanting to live here. It's just really weird to me because I'm trying to figure out what they're celebrating. Because, like, if Kamala Harris were to win, I would be celebrating all of humanity. I would be celebrating that gay people and straight people and Christians and Muslims, everybody can get married. Everybody can go to church. Everybody can go to whatever parades they want to parade. Everybody can hang their Trump flag, their pride flag, their American flags. Everybody can go start a small business, and instead of $5,000, they get that $50,000 tax cut. Everybody can get $25,000 to go buy a new home. everybody's going to benefit from a cleaner environment. Everybody's going to benefit from forays into clean energy and less destructive energy policy. Everybody's going to benefit from lower prescription drug prices, being able to have Medicare negotiate home care for your sick grandma or your sick mom. Maybe we would even get better access to colleges. Everybody would benefit from corporations not buying homes and not having milk and egg companies price fixing and shit. We'd be a celebration for all of us. But like, what are they celebrating when they're celebrating Red Kingdom? What does that mean? That's the thing to me that is like super baffling. They talk about Trump and they say MAGA, but like, what exactly are they celebrating? Are they celebrating their kids having to read scripture in their public school? Or they're celebrating their kids like not being able to be gay if they're gay? Or if their daughter gets, she has to deliver the baby and they're going to raise the kids? Like, I'm trying to figure out what they're fucking celebrating. Are they going to celebrate the tariffs? Are they celebrating Walmart decimating their local economy? Like, I just don't get it. They're celebrating that they're going to be what? Protected from a pride flag? If I was at Disneyland and I saw a white woman like this wearing a Trump hat in front of me, I would not want to speak to her. I wouldn't. I mean, there would be very little point of me speaking to her. What would our conversation look like? What would I even say to her? Like, you know, excuse me, but considering that like Trump would be okay with you delivering a rapist baby, why would you give him your vote? I don't know what that conversation would look like for me. I mean, I certainly am not going to be friends with a woman like this, because I don't think a woman like this is going to be able to have a friendship with anybody that's not centered around this sort of worship of Trump, and probably like really enjoying the negative attention that it gets. I mean, you may have noticed that it seems like people who like negative attention do like the whole Trump ethos. So yeah, it's really tough.
It's not like me
right?
to be at a loss for words, but today I am. And I just wanted to come on here and say that for those of you who are waking up today feeling less safe in the country that you call home, I'm truly sorry. And I see you. And I want to hold space for you. I was under some delusion that we had risen above this.
Me too. I thought it was going to be an easy dub. But you see, there's like a difference in tone, because Bronte, like, she knows with the losing of the election that a whole bunch of people feel unsafe. Like, who might feel unsafe right now? Well, I don't know. Let's go see what Nancy Mace is up to. Look at what her thing is. No balls in our stalls. So Nancy Mace now has 1,000 tweets that are anti-trans, blah, 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 anti-trans, 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 attacking all the trans people. So obviously trans people aren't feeling safe. There are black people in white MAGA states that aren't feeling safe. There are pregnant women that aren't feeling safe. There are women that don't have a lot of money that rely on Planned Parenthood for cancer screenings and for pap smears, that are feeling unsafe because they're afraid that Trump's going to defund Planned Parenthood. So now poor women, white, black, Latin, whatever, they're going to not have access to cancer screenings and pap smears if they don't have insurance, because Planned Parenthood, they're going to try and make it go away simply because it also does abortion care. The point being is, in the left-wing world, we all know that people are now feeling unsafe. Trans people are worried about healthcare. Pregnant women are worried about dying if they have a pregnancy complication. LGBTQ people are worried about bomb threats or losing their jobs, or the Proud Boys showing up and punching them in the face when they go to a pride parade, and having all of those negative behaviors be accepted and maybe even reinforced. So like, if the Proud Boys come and beat you up and you have a demonstration to be like, you, the Proud Boys, that the military might come in and arrest the people protesting the Proud Boys. That's a very real fear that Donald Trump is talking about this shit, squashing protests with the military. So a lot of people are scared and unsafe. But MAGA, their answer to like winning the election is ha ha, you, ha ha, you, we won, ha ha. You're going to be terrorized. We hope you're scared. We hope you're fucking frightened for your life. Ha ha, you. Right? That's their ethos. It's very different because every single program that left-wing people believe in benefits these people. Paid family leave, access to higher education, money to buy a home, start up a business, to prevent corporate price raising and price gouging, to guarantee your right to your uterus, to adequate medical care, to guarantee your right to affordable drug pricing, to guarantee your right to roads that are fixed and work, to guarantee your right to, like, if a corporation abuses you, the government will step in on your behalf and protect you from being taken advantage with junk fees and manipulation and shit. Everything the left wing wants to do helps them. Everything. Even with the bathroom shit. You ready? How does the bathroom shit help them? Look at her. She's kind of got a manly jaw. Maybe she's got a little hair on her lip. With the left-wing policy, there's never going to be a question of whether she's transgender. There's not. But now, any one of these women, if they get a little hair on their lip, they're going to go in the bathroom and they're going to be suspected of being trans. Or if they have a daughter who's really good at sports, everybody's going to think that maybe their daughter is trans. They might have to go look at their daughter's genitals. They too suffer from their shit. Part of the thing that's been problematic, guys, and I'm going to lay it out for you. This is straight up racism and religious related. Here's the situation. This is why they want to kick things back to the states. Because here's what happened, guys. The South was segregated. 1957. Little Rock, Arkansas. Black students started attending white schools. And as you can see, the white women showed up to give them the Nancy Mace treatment. This is what Nancy Mace is doing now. Replace the black woman with a trans woman. And we have Nancy Mace today. It is a stark image of Nancy Mace right here. This was protecting women back in the day. All these white women were like just trying to keep their women safe. Same shit, bro. Race mixing is communism. This is the South. Look at these people. So what happened is segregation ended. These people in the South were not happy about it. These white Christian people were so pissed off in 1964 when they were forced to be desegregated. They still segregated to the best they could. They redlined the neighborhoods. They stripped funding from black neighborhoods. They kept the black people in poverty. They've kept the black people from acquiring any generational wealth. In some areas of the country, they went in and just burned down all their shit. But what has happened is since 1964, and starting with Jimmy Carter in the 70s, they started developing arms of the government to prevent the states from overturning the Civil Rights Act. So the Department of Education is meant to enforce anti-discrimination laws. It's there to prevent the schools in the South from resegregating or from abusing students of color. That's the entire purpose of it, because the South never wanted to end segregation. They never wanted the Civil Rights Act. They were forced, the same way that they were forced to give up slavery in the 1860s. They were forced in the 1960s and to get their Bible out of the schools too. So now the entirety of the Trump administration and the dismantling of the Department of Education is to kick it back to the states. Is so all of the red states that are in the South, and now include some middle of the road ones, now they can go back to 1957. They can go back to this, and there won't be a Department of Education sue them anymore or to prevent them from doing it. If they want to put the Bible in there, if they want to stop teaching about slavery, if they want to not let black people go to school with white people, however they want to do it, they can do whatever the fuck they want. That's what they're after, man. And they've been after that since 1964. It sucks, bro. And it is a reaction. Why? Why is this happening? I'll tell you why this is happening. Because make this Barack Obama and then make this Donald Trump. And that's exactly what happened in 2008 and 2012. Barack Obama's walking into the White House and Trumpy's yelling behind him, "Let me see your birth certificate. Show me your birth certificate. Prove you belong here." I mean, I bet all these people then, as soon as she walked into their school, blamed her for bringing racism to their school. Dude, isn't it alarming? Like, this fucking picture, bro. This picture is crazy. But I don't think there's time to have any more discussions after people voted for concentration camps. Like, to me, this wasn't even a political election. This was an election about basic morals. Like, do you believe that addressing the immigration issue involves working on the immigration system, or do you believe it involves a police force rounding up human beings and putting them in concentration camps? And if you think it involves a police force rounding up people in America and putting them into concentration camps, you're operating on a moral spectrum that I don't want to have interactions with. You know what I'm saying? You know, like Donald Trump is a sexual abuser. We know this. He admitted it. He said he grabs him by the booty. He said he doesn't even ask. He's paid off the people and falsified his business records and lost a court case about defamation for sexually abusing a woman. And yet you fucking chose a sexual abuser. If you align yourself with a racist, you and me, we got different moral compasses. This election was about a moral compass because some of this shit isn't politics. We want to pass a border bill to fix the immigration. That's politics. But you want to have a concentration camp and deport people who were born here because you're going to disqualify their birthright citizenship? That ain't politics. That's a moral decision. And when you vote for that, you. But I mean, I'm a little different. Back in the days of segregation, I don't think I would have been walking around being okay with the people calling black people the N-word. That would have not resonated with me. I think I would have gotten in some fist fights and maybe the KKK would have fucking strung my ass up. A lot of Americans walked around and they just were like, oh yeah, segregation. Okay, let's go to the barbecue and forget about it. But I wouldn't have done that. And we are in a time like that again, bro. We are right back there. We are. This is where we are, guys. They don't want to have a discussion. They don't want to figure out how we integrate transgender women. You know, there's a lot more cisgendered women than there are trans women. But trans women still got to go to the bathroom safely. So how do we do that? Back then, there were a lot more white women than there were black women. Okay? But how do white women and black women both use the restroom safely? We tried to bring them together and they didn't want it. They wanted this shit. They wanted concentration camps and war on transgender people. And so now, like now we fight your administration and you suffer the consequences of your actions. You voted for a rapist that is like emboldening anti-trans bigotry. And they're going to create concentration camps for undocumented people and maybe end birthright citizenship and maybe use the military on our own citizens. We don't know what's going to happen. But you voted for that shit. F you. You are done. We're done. You're cut off. You're on your own. And yeah, you can run around in your Trump hats and make your TikToks about triggered. I'm not triggered. I'm just going to steamroll you guys and exclude you from my space. And communicate with other people that we're all going to exclude you. And then we're going to see what happens in 2028. Maybe when Trump is gone, maybe then we can meet somewhere in the middle. But like, dude, you can't meet in the middle with this. You can't. You can't meet in the middle with her because she hasn't even talked to this transgender woman. She used this bathroom for years. She's been sharing the bathroom with trans women, fine. Everybody in DC has. There's been no issue. But now she's doing this shit because a culture of hate has been engendered and become like popular again. There was a time, guys, when white people walking down the street and calling black people the N-word, there was a time when that was popular, when that's what all the white people were doing. And so you got to ask yourself, when all the white people were doing that and that was popular, would you have been doing that too? Because I wouldn't have. I know I wouldn't have. And you do have to pick a side.